Good morning. Good morning. Thank the Lord for bringing us all here today. Today I'd like to speak a little bit about kindness. Kindness is the quality of being generous, friendly, and considerate. And even the word quality is a measure where something is it's like a class or a grade. So with us all, our kindness, it's like, what grade is our kindness? Is our kindness class 1, or is our kindness a university degree? Because a lot of times people are kind, but if you bring it in tree, oh, Papa, you can't kind. If you're going to be kind to somebody, you have to go the extra mile and be all the way kind. This morning, I will not keep you too long. I'll just break it down to 3 forms of kindness. Kindness to God, kindness to our neighbor, and kindness to ourselves. Now, when it comes to kindness with God, I like to read from Isaiah chapter 54, verse 8. In a little wrath I hid my face from thee for a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith the Lord my Redeemer. So the Lord is kind to us all the time. Because sometimes I sit and I think about it, like, if I was God, would I listen to half of the stuff people pray for? Because how many times you pray and thank God? How many times you pray and don't ask for nothing? It's like every day. Imagine every single day, those of you with kids, all your kids do is ask you for stuff. Daddy this, mommy this, daddy this. Like, even if you don't have a kid, like, if you have people in your life that all they do is take all the time, and they don't offer nothing in return. Like, they don't even, like, have you ever prayed and asked God, oh, hey, God, how are you doing today? Is everything okay? But every time, oh, God, do this for me, God, do that for me. You're not being kind to God. We need to be kind to God, because He's everlastingly kind to us. Because we're through all our mistakes and everything that we do, He always is kind to us. He's always is merciful to us. So whenever you're praying, just think about what you're praying for. And sometimes don't pray for nothing. Just pray and thank God for all the things that He has done for you and all the kindness that He has bestowed upon you, your family, your friends. Because every single day we hear all these horror stories of all the things that's going on in the world. And none of it touches anybody in here, and even if it does, God always sees us through it. So we have to think about that all the time when we are praying, and our relationship with God. Our relationship with God can be a one-sided relationship. It can be a take all the time relationship, because that's not a relationship. At that point, you're not being fair to God. So we need to think about that when we pray. Now, another thing too is kindness to our neighbor, and I would like to read from Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. Therefore, all things whosoever ye would that men shall do to you, do ye even so to them, for this is the law of the prophets. It's basically saying, because one thing I always think about when I'm dealing with somebody is like, what if that person did this to me, or the same thing I'm doing to the person? What if that person did it to me? How would I feel about it? Because a lot of times people will be like, oh, I didn't know it was going to hurt that person's feeling. Oh, I didn't know the person was going to take it that way. It's so simple. Just think about it. What if that person said that to you? And I feel like if you being honest with yourself, a lot of the times the way you talk and handle people, if somebody handle you like that, you will be very mad. You will be very. It's so elementary with kids. It's like, if you don't hit somebody, the person's not going to hit you. So why do you think and feel the need to say certain things to certain people and then act surprised when that person is offended? And sometimes, I don't know if, I'm not saying only old people do this or whatever, but I'm not saying if it comes with old age or whatever, but what I have noticed is like a lot of mature people tend to speak their mind. That's how they say, I'm speaking the mind, or I'm telling the truth. A lot of times you might be telling the truth, but the person is not going to hear the truth that you're speaking, telling them, just because of the way you said it. And not everything needs to be said, because at the end of the day, we all humans, we have feelings. Just because you are tough and you have tough skin, don't mean the next person is the same way. You have to be considerate, you have to be friendly, you have to be kind to your neighbor, because without your neighbor, you be lonely, you be by yourself. Nobody can live by themselves. Even the people that live by themselves, they need somebody to talk to. Like, I know people that live by themselves, or they're by themselves, they don't have no family or whatever. And every time they call, it's like they don't want to get off the phone, because you need human interaction. Nobody can live and be like, I do not need nobody. So since we all need each other, we need to learn how to deal with each other. We need to learn how to talk to each other. Like I said, whenever you telling somebody something, just think about it. How would I feel if that person was telling me what they're telling me? Because if you feel that everything that comes to your mind, even if it's true, even if it's a fact, even if what you're saying is the gospel truth, it doesn't mean you just have to find a better way. If you can't find a better way, just pray about it or just leave it alone. Because a lot of times people just like to, quote unquote, I'm speaking my mind or I'm telling the truth. If the person gets offended, they get offended. That's not right. You can't live like that. And lastly, what I'd like to talk about is kindness to ourselves. Nobody in this church does this, but a lot of times we overwork ourselves. We don't take good care of ourselves. Because if you don't take care of your body's not going to take care of you later on in life. And even me included, when I was younger, I could eat anything and I didn't see nothing. And my mother always told me, hey, watch how you eat that rice, or you always eating rice, or you always doing this. I'm like, oh, nothing's gonna happen, nothing's gonna happen. I wasn't kind to my body. And now I got older, I have a belly. Not in a million years did I ever think I could get a belly. Because I wasn't kind to myself, I wasn't kind to my body, that's what happened. And being kind to yourself, you gotta be kind to yourself mentally too. You have to always mentally prepare yourself. Like, a lot of us go through a lot of things. We can't be everything for everybody. Just because somebody called you from home or called you from somewhere asking for something you don't have doesn't mean you have to go kill yourself for that. You have to think about yourself. Sometimes you have to be selfish. You have to think about number one first, and you always should come first before any and everybody. It's good to put people first, but sometimes it's just overbearing. Like, people are always stressing about home and home and home and home and home. And it's like those people sometimes, a lot of times, they're thinking about themselves. Because they're not worried about you. They just want things from you. Like the same way you want from God. So sometimes you need to really put yourself first and think about yourself. And with always be kind to yourself. So this morning, what I'll leave you is, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and be kind to God. Amen. Amen.